Success is 5% strategy, 95% mindset. If you don't have your mind right, you will not get the success that you're wanting. Now, your subconscious mind creates 95% of your outer reality. So your subconscious mind is what's ruling your life. And your subconscious mind was programmed in the first 7 years of your life. In the first 7 years, we are in the theta brainwave. And the theta brainwave is known as this hypnosis state. And that is when your subconscious mind is wide open. This is why children soak things up like a sponge. They haven't got their conscious mind yet. They don't have the intellectual mind. They're in theta brainwave, and it's just their subconscious mind's wide open. And everything that's going on around them in their environment is going straight into the subconscious mind. You are a product of your environment. So whatever was going on around you in that first 7 years programmed you. So this is why you can have kids that have bilingual parents. I think I said that right. Where, kids can talk multiple languages by the age of 4. It's because they're soaking things up like a sponge because they're in theta brainwave, which is their subconscious. After the age of 7, you move out of theta and you move into alpha. And once that happens, the programming is now locked in. And that programming is going to rule your life unless you change the programming. So for example, let's say you were born into a family that was poor. You didn't have a lot of money. And so your parents would talk about that around you, not having enough money, not being able to afford things. Money doesn't grow on trees. If you grew up around a family that talked about money like that, that has programmed you to also be in lack and scarcity. So most of us have been programmed to be in lack and scarcity, and it's not your parents' fault. It's not about blaming your parents. Your parents don't know they don't know better. They were probably in the same position as a kid. They probably grew up around the same programming, right? It just gets passed down. This is why people that can be born into wealthy families can become rich really easily, because they've got different programming. So in the first 7 years, whatever was going on around you programmed you. After the age of 7, that programming's locked in. So if you were around a family that talked about not having enough money, that has now programmed you to also not have enough money. And nothing will change in your life. Like, you could be chasing money, you could be trying to get rich and wealthy, but it won't happen unless you change your programming. When you change the programming, you get different results. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how you can use self-hypnosis to hypnotize your mind for success. So the cool thing is we're able to tap into theta brainwave. And we can do this by going into a meditative state. The technique I'm going to share with you is ideal to do this when you're right before you go to sleep or whilst you're sleeping, right? So when we go to sleep, our brain waves drop. We go from beta to alpha to theta and then delta. Delta is that deep restorative sleep stage. Theta is when the body's asleep but the mind's still active, and it's in that light sleep, that dreamlike stage, right? So what you do, if you want to change your programming so you can become successful, you find some type of audio recording. For example, I use a success hypnosis. It's an audio recording. It's about 12 minutes. And it just talks about things about being successful and having financial abundance. So what you do is you get into bed at night, you put some headphones on, or earphones in, and you listen to that recording. And as you're listening to it, you close your eyes, your brainwaves will start dropping down, and when you drop into theta, that audio recording you're listening to is going straight into the subconscious mind. Just like when you were a kid in that first 7 years, everything was going straight into the subconscious mind. So you listen to it while you're sleeping, if you can. I've been able to fall asleep sometimes whilst listening to a subconscious audio programming thing, you know. And I tell you what, I have a really great sleep and I wake up feeling really good. So if you're able to fall asleep with it, it's really beneficial because when you're sleeping, your conscious mind has disconnected and you are in the subconscious mind. So whatever you're listening to, or even if it was the last thing that you listened to right before sleeping, or the last thing you watched, you might be watching a video right before sleeping, is going to get taken into the subconscious mind whilst you sleep. And it's going to marinate in the subconscious mind during that, 8 hours or however long you're sleeping. So you either listen to it before you go to sleep, because the reason I say that is because sometimes when I've tried, I've listened to audio recording, sometimes I can fall asleep to it, and then other times it actually keeps me awake. So if you can fall asleep to one, that is ideal. Don't have it too loud. It doesn't need to be too loud. You can tune it down a bit. But yeah, if you are able to fall asleep listening to this recording every single night, you've got to be consistent. It's a practice. It's like being in the gym. You have to be consistent to get results. If you can fall asleep every night listening to it, it's going straight into the subconscious mind and it's reprogramming. This is what you call self-hypnosis. And as you're listening to it, your subconscious mind is going to marinate during those hours you're sleeping, however long it is, right? If you can't fall asleep, if you're like me, where sometimes it keeps you awake, then just listen to it right before you sleep. Because again, whatever the last thing was that you listened to right before sleeping is still going to be taken into the subconscious mind, and it will still marinate in your subconscious mind whilst you're sleeping. It's just more powerful if you're able to fall asleep to it, but it's not actually necessary. Because all you really need to do is just close your eyes, because when you do that, you're disconnecting from the outer world, and that's when you start putting the focus on the inner world. And as you do that, the brainwaves will drop. So if you just are able to get into a meditative state before sleeping whilst listening to it, you're still reprogramming that subconscious mind. That is how you use self-hypnosis. You tap into theta brainwave, and you can do this through meditation as well. Like you could do it during the day and go into a meditative state and listen to an audio recording, but it's more powerful if you do it right before sleeping or whilst you're sleeping. So you just tap into theta, you find yourself some sort of audio recording, for example, a success hypnosis to listen to. Headphones work best. So if you've got headphones or earphones, use them. So it gets right in there, and commit to doing it every day. And that will shift your programming. Once the programming shifts, the outer reality will shift. The success will come. The financial abundance will come. If you don't change the programming, it won't. The outer reality is simply a reflection of your inner reality. But the cool thing is we can consciously change our subconscious programming, and when we do that, that's when our life will change. Now, you can even have a look at your life, your outer reality, to figure out what type of subconscious programming you have. You can look at your health. You can look at your love life and relationships. You can look at the jobs and the careers you get. You can look at how much money you're earning. That is a reflection of the programming that you've been programmed with. If you're only earning, say, I don't know, $60,000 a year, that's your programming. You can reprogram yourself, your subconscious mind, to be earning $1 million a year. So it's a simple technique. I highly recommend using it. I use this for myself. And again, once we shift the programming, the outer reality will change, and this is how we can get that dream life that we want. This is how we can get the success that we want. You've got to commit to it every single day. It's like being in the gym. And eventually you'll notice the outer reality will start shifting. And that's how you know your programming has been changed. I hope you like this video, guys. If you got some sort of value out of it, smash that like button or write a comment. And if you like this sort of content, then subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can be notified whenever I drop a video. I talk about, spirituality on this channel, subconscious programming, law of attraction, manifestation, healing from trauma. That's the sort of things, the sort of content I make. So if that's what interests you, subscribe. I hope I see you on the next video. Peace.